here. We got Rhodesia here. We got Eshawn here. We also got a special guest. If you are watching this right now, either on Twitter or on YouTube, you see a fourth box. And this fourth box is a guy you've heard about quite often on the TFW podcast over the first 100 plus episodes. This is our guy, Brandon. What is up, sir?
Not much, not much. Happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me. After the tail end of a pretty good rumble, so let's get into it.
I'm actually going to throw this to Eshawn because his guy Cody Rhodes did the unthinkable. Of all the rumors and innuendo about Dwayne The Rock Johnson coming,
Yes.
of all the rumor and innuendo, CM Punk is going to come in and win the Rumble. That was actually my pick. I thought they was going to make Cody work a little bit harder going to WrestleMania. Didn't happen. He cashed that check in today. Rumor is he went to Triple H and said, if I don't win tonight, I'm leaving like Vince. That was the rumor. Don't know if it's true or not.
Shit.
That was what I saw on the internet. And some chance they flipped it up. But Cody Rhodes is the 2024 men's Royal Rumble winner. Eshawn, how did you feel in that moment? Tell us how you think the match went for him. Was it a showcase match for it? Just give it up, seeing you are the resident Cody Rhodes guy.
It was as I expected. We're coming to finish that story. And my man Cody Rhodes, he revisited his list of things that he wanted to accomplish this year, and on that list was finish the story and see the Lions Super Bowl. So I appreciate Cody.
Let's go, baby.
Representing for me and Detroit and everybody.
Let's go, baby.
It was a great night for true wrestling fans, indeed.
All right, so you just gave us your I'm a Cody Rhodes fan speech. Now, let's actually get into the match. I don't even really want to start with the men's Rumble match, but seeing the last images we had of the pay-per-view was Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. We have to start there. If it was up to me, we'd go right to the opening of that show because I personally think that women's Rumble match destroyed the men's match, and it wasn't even close. So, but let's start. Let's stick with the men's because this is a really, really big deal. So Cody wins, right? Like I think it wasn't a shocker. I think if it was a shocker, if anybody outside of Punk, Cody, and maybe you can go Gunther, that okay, like you can expect if they won, okay, I get it. Outside of that, I think we knew that was going to be the case. What I think what I'm surprised about. And tell me if you guys agree, you disagree. Let's have conversations. I thought that match overall was flat. I thought you could tell Braun Breaker took Brock Lesnar's spot. And you could even tell where he was sandwiched in between. He was sandwiched in between Gunther's entrance, and he was sandwiched in between Omos's entrance. Right? The guy he's going to probably face this year at WrestleMania, and the guy he faced last year at WrestleMania. This is our big man giant segment of the match. And Braun killed it. Shout out to Braun. Hopefully, once he's done with Corbin and with their tag team with the Dusty Classic at NXT, he gets called up finally. I thought he did great. So this is not a knock at all on Braun Breaker. But when we got what we got in that women's Royal Rumble match, and it wasn't the men's match lacked star power, but it lacked surprises. Like legitimate, holy shit moments. We didn't really get any of that kind of. So that was missing. And then for the first time in Cody's run, and you could maybe even, and I'm not going to go this far yet, you can maybe even blame CM Punk. This was the first time where I'm watching Cody Rhodes in a main event spot in WWE, and I got a little worried for him because it did not have that to it. It's him and Punk, and they're kind of almost working a pseudo singles match when it's just them two, and they're telling a good story, but for me, it just wasn't clicking. It was solid, right? It was entertaining. I'm like, okay, this is all right. Let's see who wins, but I didn't think it was a "this is awesome" chant. I I was not on my edge of my seat in regards to what they were giving me. I was intrigued because, hey, I want to know who's going to win to see how we tell this story to Mania, how we tell the story for Elimination Chamber. But in regards to what those two guys were doing in the ring, I wasn't blown away by it. And then when he won, got a great response. But I'm sitting there watching and I'm like, after he wins the belt off of Roman, they got to set him up properly for his next couple first feuds. Because what I could see just from tonight, and once again, tell me if I'm straight in the minority, I'm like, I can see empathy setting in pretty quick. Or not empathy, apathy. Where it's like, okay, cool, he got his belt. Now, who's our next shiny toy? Is it LA Knight? Is it, Gunther because he's going to have the IC belt for forever? Is it going to be whoever? So what was your guys' thoughts about just like the whole sequence of events through the Rumble match itself, and then just how you guys thought of the final 5 or 10 minutes or whatever it was?
The Rumble match itself, in years past, we have all these legend acts, right, coming back,
Mm-hmm.
or surprises and stuff like that. And I don't know where I stood at how I felt about them coming back. I guess because they paved the way for the wrestlers after them, I'm like, okay, well, we owe them a few spots every year. But us not having like that element, it did feel different. It just felt like the current roster, a 30-man Royal Rumble match. It kind of reminds me of the Andre the Giant over the top Battle Royal match. But I digress.
There you
To
go,
me,
G.
I think I maybe I did miss part of that, because the only like elements where I was like super excited for was our truth, and that's only because I knew Trizzle came out in the women's match doing it epically, realizing it
Number
was the wrong
24.
match, number 24. So I was looking forward to it. I'm like, oh, he's number 24. So I think I may miss not having maybe some legend acts returning. I don't know yet on that. As far as how we landed, I think everybody here at least said it was either going to be Punk or Rhodes. One of them was going to win. I did think Punk was going to win. I was ready to come on here and gloat for like 5 minutes and saying 1,245 days and still counting. But now I'm feeling like 1,245 days and he's still about to lose at Mania against Cody. So now I'm just feeling kind of crushed inside. So I got crushed on the women's side, number 30, and I got crushed at the end of the men's Royal Rumble.
I'm gonna go back to Matt saying that it was not a shocker. I'm a mark. It was a shocker to me. Um, I I I was in the group chat with us earlier today saying Cody don't look focused. He partying with Jimmy Fallon last night.
You
I didn't
sure
think he
did.
was. I didn't think he was pulling it off. So it was a shocker to me. I was set up for a Punk or somebody else winning. Um, Fine with him winning. I think my concern, and I'm sure we'll get into this a little later, is what does that do for Rock? Like, where does that take place if Cody has won and is gonna try to main event WrestleMania? So that was my concern. As far as the Rumble match itself, I echo the same sentiments as Rhodesia. I was hyped for some potential surprises. I like the R Truth spots, both in the men's and women's
Mm-hmm.
uh, match. But I mean, it was fine. I mean, and kind of what I guess I've been used to over my years of watching wrestling, but not one of the better shows. I mean, I was interested in seeing some more surprises. I mean, we got Andrade, but we kind of knew he was
Mm-hmm.
coming back,
Yep.
and when we
Right.
hadn't seen him up until now, we knew this was the spot. So yeah, I mean, I guess a little underwhelming for me.
I think we got some hard ass feelings that Cody story is about to finish his story at Mania. I think that's what this is all about. 'Cause that's what this thing's about. This is about Cody going to Mania, and he didn't even waste time, y'all. He pointed right at Roman at the
He
end of
did.
that
I
match
love that.
Yep.
I
and
love
He
that.
said,
sure
like,
did.
"Hey,
He
we ain't
sure
gotta
did.
wait the Raw. We ain't
Or
gotta wait
SmackDown or
on social
anything.
media.
Nope.
I'm telling you right now, yo ass, Mania. This was a great show. Great show.
A
So
resident
you
Cody
really, so
fan.
you really don't have more to just to speak on than just that your guy won. You don't typically you're the person that you was like, you know what, guys, didn't like the match. I didn't like this, I didn't like that. Or is it you liked it because we haven't got to the women's rumble? When we get to the women's rumble, is that where you're gonna be like, I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't see it. Is that the one you're gonna hit us on?
I actually like the women's rumble.
Oh, let's
It was
go.
pretty fucking good, man. It was good.
Before we leave the men's rumble, though, I have to take one thing back. Sorry, I disrespected the whole rumble here. I was very surprised with the number 1 and number 2 entrant of the men's
Forgot
Royal
about that.
Rumble.
You're right. You're
That
right.
was like, you what? Like, I mean, I guess maybe that I want something a bigger payoff, but we'll get to a bigger payoff later when we talk about the women's one. But like, I feel like it felt good. It was a surprise, and it was something I was not expecting in the least bit. And they gave it to us up front. And I don't think I'm against them like locking up and touching hands and blowing each other.
Whoa,
Excuse me?
hold up.
Throwing blows on
Pause.
each
Excuse
other.
me?
Big
We can't
pause.
get past
Throwing
one
Hey,
blows
yo.
on each other.
show.
Hey, I know
How many
it
minutes are
is.
we in?
I know it's past midnight Eastern Standard Time, but ma'am, you gotta relax. I don't know where you were
Oh,
going
penalty
there.
box. Oh, must go to penalty box.
Mute up.
There you
You gotta
go.
mute up for at least a minute right now. Thank you. Mute up. You couldn't ask for a better start to that match. I thought it was
Agreed.
incredible. I didn't see that coming just because I was thinking they were going to wait to touch until Mania, right? Assuming that was gonna be the match. Now, kind of looking at the way this Rumble was, and so all right, go back to Cody winning. We did our picks like 2 weeks ago. There was a horrendous report that came out on Sports Illustrated earlier this week that had things I knew for a fact was just a red herring, right? I think they said Cody's not finishing the story. He's not even in the main event plan for Mania, and it was going to be Cody and CM Punk in a match. And then did they say Roman Rock and I forgot.
Gunther and Seth.
Yeah,
It was like Gunther
yeah.
and Seth. Yeah.
And I'm just like, no.
Guilty.
Okay. I was like, no.
I
I knew
believed it.
I knew what that was. Because I'm like, there's nothing they've shown us
didn't
on
even read it.
TV. Yeah, that shows that that's what it is. I'm like, no, they're just putting it out there because it is so much headed toward just these matches we're kind of already locked into without officially knowing that we got to kind of throw off the scent. And it worked. It worked because the internet went ablaze about it. And then it came out the next day. I think Justin Marasso, who wrote the article, was like, hey, I got fed some bad information. My bad. But even Justin should have known. Like, dude, you've been doing this a long time.
Was he
You
part of
should
the
know.
layoffs?
No.
'Cause
Oh,
he
you know what?
probably- he
That's the other thing I
should've
wanted
been.
to. I mean, they just said that like everybody on Sports Illustrated got like,
Yeah, everyone got let
fired. And
go.
then next thing you know, like they're still releasing articles. I gotta do
That's
some more
their
research on that.
AI. That's their
Who's
AI.
releasing articles?
It's the AI of them.
He's like, oh, I got something for their ass.
I was like, okay. But no, I thought the beginning of the match was incredible with Jimmy and Jay. Threw me off for a loop. Of course, the Andrade piece I really enjoyed, and great response for him. Brand new music where people knew what that was. I love to see that.
Grayson cutting promos in the beginning. Like, who comes out?
I didn't like that.
I
did not
loved
like
it. I
that.
absolutely loved it. He come because again, this is not what I would have expected to see. I guess so, thinking that we're dealing with Grayson Waller here, but I did not think that he was about to have a Grayson Waller effect show on his way to enter as number 3 in the Rumble. No one really expected that. That was pretty good.
It was exactly what I expected because I knew he would get like thrown out pretty quick. Like,
And you know what I hoped with Grayson Waller? I wanted to see some beef between him and Austin Theory.
they teased it on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Because he
pre-show.
said, "Oh, I could beat Austin." Ooh, yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll get that soon.
So overall, I thought the men's match was very average, and it shouldn't have been average. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Rock piece. Okay, so let's talk about the Rock of it all. Now that we know we're getting, I don't know how they can not just come out sometime this week on Monday show or Friday show and Cody say, Roman, you know what it is. I'll see you at Mania. Okay, so let's say we're locked into that. I don't think, of course, now we get Rock and Roman before Mania or at Mania. Roman's not working double duty. This is not going to be a night 1, night 2 thing. What I would be interested to see. And what I thought about after Cody won, and no, there was no "If You Smell" music that hit at the end. They're showing Roman out there. I said, okay, I can see Rock showing up at the end of Cody Roman at Mania, and not costing or helping Cody. Bell is rung, et cetera, like we're done, right? Kind of that piece. And then I can see a Rock Roman interaction. And maybe the interaction is he just walks out and maybe he just looks at Roman. Right? It's something very slight, but then we can take that to whenever they decide to make that match. My worry, and I think I even said it on X earlier today, it's just another year of age on The Rock. He's already 50 plus. Last time we saw him, he tore his whole lower body in the match against Cena. And that was a decade ago. So now you're adding another year. I don't think we get that at 41. I wonder if we get that before 41 in some type of undisclosed show yet so far. I don't think it's be at SummerSlam. Because when Rock was on the Pat McAfee show, or First Take, he was talking about, I was thinking about the long game and, I'm all about building. And he brought up WrestleMania. And he's like, no knock to anybody else, but I feel like, Rock and Roman, this could be the biggest WrestleMania of all time, biggest show of all time. But now we know that's not happening this year, unless something happens between now and Elimination Chamber, or between now and WrestleMania, where somehow, some way, Cody cannot challenge Roman, or something happens with his challenge for free card. Is there any world where you guys would be like, outside of E? E wants him to take that story, finish that story in April. But is there any world where you guys would be open to Cody just won the Rumble, but maybe there's some way, somehow, we still get Rock and Roman and not Rock and Cody at Mania this year?
Nah, it would be too unprecedented for WWE. I mean, for the life of the program, you win the Rumble Mania. I don't think you make that exception for The Rock or anybody, because that shits on everybody else in the locker room, and it says no matter how big you are, somebody bigger can come in and take that moment from me. And I just don't see. I don't think Triple H has it in him to pull that off. I think as bad as people felt last year after Mania, like
I didn't feel
if
bad.
that well,
I felt wonderful.
I
I
know.
felt
We
wonderful.
was up there throwing the ones up.
Sorry, Brandon.
there's a segment of folks who were
Okay.
pissed.
Got it.
I think you turn that segment completely off if you somehow pull that off.
I don't think it's possible in any way, but if I'm being forced, we have a couple of factors going on. We still have Damian Priest at play with his Money in the Bank. We still have Seth with an injury, and we still have Cody as a face. So there can be a world if forced to compromise him winning the Rumble and him going after Roman. I like, again, what Brandon just said. I don't want that to happen. But if it was forced, we got those three things in place, because you could make Cody then the Raw champion if Seth is not back in time, some way, somehow.
Take the L out of
And
Lover,
that would
baby.
feel like-
It's over.
Yeah.
Take the L out of Lover.
Take the L out of Lover, baby. It's over. It's over. All right. We gonna get Rock and Roman one day. But not today and not at Mania. It's Cody time. And that's what this I'm really getting irritated sitting here that we're not making this more about Cody and his triumphant win. Matt want to downplay it. He did this shit last year too. He want to downplay. Oh, there's something about the Mania match. It just wasn't good. No, because it was great, because Cody won the People's Champion, the new People's Champion, won the match, and we're gonna finish that story.
Let me see. Well, there's 4 of us on here, and I believe, now maybe my math is wrong, I thought Brandon stated that match was just I think Rhodesia said like it was just okay. So it's not just me. Don't put that on me.
No, Brandon is a very nice and polite man. He's just trying to make you feel good. He understands what's happening here.
Is that right, Brandon? Like, so you can't speak for yourself?
I'm not stroking that man's ego at all.
Said match sucked. No, but it was
Trash.
like it was
I know,
okay,
I know,
right?
trash.
Like it was just okay. I thought
Yeah.
it was definitely a letdown compared to the women's match because when you're only talking 4 matches, and I even said this earlier, this is a 4-match card, and I am all about
Mm-hmm.
quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
They all should deliver at the highest level.
Agreed.
But damn, like Brian
And-
looked good in the match. Carmelo
He
came out
did.
look good in the match. I mean,
Melo
when,
looked good.
when I was watching this match, seriously, I fell asleep a couple times though because it was a long night. But
Wait, time out.
And there it is.
Yeah, I
Wait,
fell
time
asleep.
out.
There it is. Give me my damn
yeah, I
sound
fell asleep a
effects.
couple times. But,
Are we
Where we
supposed to
at?
be discussing
Hold on a
this?
second.
yeah, all
mean,
night.
that-
It was a struggle for your boy
And
all night.
I'm gonna do that just because he copped to it.
He admitted that.
Yeah, I felt man. Look, it's a struggle, but yeah, I mean, I remember when we went to that WrestleMania years ago, and we sat on our hands the entire card, and the crowd didn't react to anybody coming down to the ring. Like the crowd reacted to quite a few people coming down to that ring. You know, current NXT or whatever it may
Yeah.
be. I think
Mhm.
that was a definitely win. I think people are invested in a lot of the characters. I think a lot of the characters in the match looked good. I think the overall match was a lot better than a 3/4 of our cast is giving it credit for.
What I would say about that real quick is right. So maybe I'm a little bit critical over this match because it's a Royal Rumble match. I felt like, honestly, if this was an Andre the Giant Battle Royal,
Oh Lord.
I'd be like, oh, this was a fun Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
You
To
gotta
me-
have that on your bingo card somewhere. How many
Sure.
times can I say
No,
Andre the
I'm calling
Giant
the
Battle
real one
Royal
this time. No,
on
my
a
actual
podcast?
mine is over the top Battle Royal. But what I'm saying, for me, okay, let's just say any Battle Royal. Is that better? So if this was a Battle Royal match, I probably would give it an A. But because it is a Royal Rumble, I'm gonna probably give it a B minus because there's a certain level of expectation, and you main evented the show. You gotta follow what we saw already.
Here's my issue with the men's Rumble match. It has nothing to do with the finish. My issue with the men's Rumble match was typically a Royal Rumble should help set up the future programs, rivalries, right?
Mhm.
Either pay them off somehow, some way, or you set up your next long form stories or next few months. And I mean, the show just happened 15 minutes ago, or 20 minutes ago. I haven't had a chance to go back and watch, but I don't think they set up anything really new. To Brandon's point,
They did
we
one.
didn't get which
They did
one?
one. They sent Drew on his way out. Sorry.
That's not new.
Sorry.
He's been on
Sorry.
his way out evidently,
Yeah.
right? Like he's
Yeah.
been on his way out. Tony's calling him up right now.
Go ahead. Sorry,
Tony's calling him
man.
up.
Mhm.
And Finn's contract is up in April too.
Oh wow.
They're saying he hasn't resigned, so he didn't last long in the Rumble either. But yeah. So like to Brandon's point earlier about Theory and Grayson Waller, there was no type of hey, this might happen. We already knew like Jay and Jimmy didn't like each other. We already knew that Final Four. We kind of knew what that was. So that was just kind of a continuation of what we already saw. If you take that women's Rumble, they set Jade up with like 4 possible matches,
Mhm.
right? And I don't know how long she was in that match for 10 minutes, 12 minutes, somewhere around that.
Mhm.
See, they maximize her time. And I am sure Jordan Grace was in there because Trinity, Naomi, which, man, how happy did she
I almost
look and how
cried. I
happy were
almost
we
cried.
for her to be
Yep.
able to come in at number 2, get that full entrance, take that all in. But I am sure there was a relationship there like, okay, well, technically she's kind of still under contract. Like she's going to be on our TV here in a couple
Mhm.
weeks because we still tape some matches. But is there any way we can get somebody on our show? Because they made Jordan Grace look like she was signed to WWE. Like if
Mhm.
you don't know who Jordan Grace was before that, I'm sure you picked your phone up and was like, let me Google
Who
this girl and
who
see who
Beast
she is.
Yeah.
Beast of
But
the
first
had
thing
a-
came to mind. First thing that came to mind to me was that TNA deal with TKO,
Right.
and what
The
that's what gave her
the streaming
Yeah,
the streaming
yeah,
deal.
yeah. I was like, that's what gave her presence there. But yeah, she looked phenomenal.
Hmm.
So yeah, so that was kind of the difference. So like, of course, just I like to poke fun at Cody. We all know I'm a huge Cody guy, but just outside of that, it was just it fell flat to me. Like I said, even if Punk would have won, say if Punk would have won that, I would have came on and said the same thing. Like, oh man, that finish was flat.
Hey,
And
Matt, the chat
I
disagrees with you.
appreciated them. What the chat said.
They say
what they said.
disagree with you. You're being too hard.
I'm being who said that?
Everybody.
Okay, I don't believe that.
So
Oh, look.
I
Oh,
want
look.
to
Oh,
give
look.
Cody a couple of props. And then another thing I want to say about Punk.
Mhm.
Cody is the first person who went back to back Rumble champion or winner
Oh,
in
yes.
over a quarter of a century. So 26 years ago, Austin won 2 years back to back. That is a hell of a feat. Yeah, this is all predetermined, but that is absolutely a hell of a feat that a company trusts you that much that they have you the Rumble winner 2 years in a row. Now, where it got a little even more lackluster for me, and again, this is just a pure vanity thing. And now I see why. Oh, we lost Brandon. I guess he was over it too. Um, Punk
Yeah,
to
he
me,
got tired. He got tired of E talking shit. He's like, I gotta go.
I feel.
He said he said his power went out. He just texted.
Oh no. Okay, Punk for me, I feel like he looked old in the ring. And I know I used to always say like I like when Roman has his gray showing because I think that looks so to me I think it looks sexy. But also if you're the head of the table, you got to be this wisdom is in your gray hair. But I saw it on Punk and I just go back to the conversation I had with you before Matt off air where you're like no like you got to look spry. You got to like color it. And to me Punk just looked old. And then he tried to flex at one point, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what are you flexing in particular. I guess you're just hyping. That's just probably me being really mean and rude right there. But he just looked old to me. So when him and Cody was going back and forth, I love their matching and their wrestling and their dancing. I still felt like, wow, this is Punk 10 years later.
Hmm.
Just vanity, just how he looked, not how he goes in the ring, just
But
how he
okay.
looked.
Oh, what I mean, what I don't care about the looks. I'm just talking about match quality. That's all
But
I'm
to
talking
me,
about.
but that was front of mind for me. I'm like, he looks old. So that kind of made me feel a certain way about the match
That was
or
the best
about
he's
that
looked in two
ending.
years to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, him and Joe killed in August, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah. I just wasn't. I didn't think it was fantastic. So now let's move over to something that was fantastic. The women's Royal Rumble match, and I thought, and the thing about the women's match, and um this is a pattern, but it's okay. I'm fine. I'm fine with things not going perfectly in matches. I'm fine with quote unquote botches at times. It is what it is, right? You're going to get a ton more of that in the women's Royal Rumble match, but you get a ton more spots and everybody coming in and shining. So the Rumble has turned into this thing where you come in and you hit like 3 or 4 impact moves immediately, and then we continue with the match, right? That started like a few years ago. The women do way more choreographed spots, it feels like, than the men do. And I feel like they did a great job in their matches. Yes, were there some moves that didn't work? Yep. Were there some moves that fell flat? Yep. But the ones that hit to me, I'll take it. And I thought it was fantastic. Naomi coming in. We already talked about, of course, Jade. I love Chelsea basically just being a rag doll throughout the entire match. That was perfectly on brand for her character and her gimmick. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was awesome. Even Maxine being Maxine in the match, I thought that was great. Everybody just kind of really stepped up and I felt like to me, and then we also got Liv Morgan coming back when she looked incredible. And I thought that was also a vote of confidence for having her in there in the last
Number
final
30. Yep.
four.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It just felt like that everybody who was in there, there was a purpose to it. And I really, really appreciated that. What was your guys' thoughts about the women's rumble match?
When you mentioned that, that's exactly what I was going to say. As far as it gave me kind of like the NXT feel of making every woman kind of important in the match. Everyone had their defined character, and you knew what it was. And then whether it was for production and what we saw actually with the cameraman shot, each person told who they were in their little story, even if it was only for a minute. But if you look down the list of the people who were in that match, between telling the stories of the tag team women losing it just the night before to the Kabuki Warriors, telling that kind of story. Um, Jay, Tiffany Stratton being the Barbie doll. I mean, I don't even want to bore go down all these different people, but like you said, every person kind of had a purpose. Every person had their own character and it shined in it. I mean, literally, besides maybe Tegan Knox, I felt like, but she even had her own character. I felt like interested in every single person when they came in.
I just needed Trinity in the beginning. Big pop for me on that. And then I got Jordan, another
Hmm.
big pop. Then I got Jade towards the end. I was good. Everything else was just fine, but like those were like some hot moments that just really carried a great internal buzz for me. So I'll
Hmm.
give it a thumbs up just for Naomi, Jade, and Jordan being on the show.
And I think the other thing that was fantastic, of course, the winner, Bailey. And the reason
Mhm.
why, and this is one of those I talk about kind of a lot, like when wrestling is like realer than what you know it is. Um, that was this win for Bailey. She shouldn't have got that reaction from the crowd like
No.
she did, right? She's basically been a scumbag for years on
Right?
TV, but we know what that is. One, we know that okay, this and Damage Control storyline is about to heat up because we know it's gonna be her and EO at Mania. And the other part of this was she's worked so hard at making everybody else look better. I
It,
before
it's
this
that
year,
like
I don't think she's won 10 matches in like 2 years. She's put everybody over on TV, at house shows. You know, she's worked with making everybody look better than her. And now this is like for the way it looks is all right, this is your time to shine now. I love that. They gave her the record for being in the women's rumble match the longest. So that was a check mark, kind of reduced to
Mhm.
your point about Cody going back to back. All that is just another, tip to the hat. Yep, you are the guy now.
Mhm.
This hasn't happened in 25 years. Who knows what's going to happen again? That's just another piece to the puzzle of making Cody Rhodes the guy. And they kind of did something like that with Bailey. So I love to see that. Looking at the chat real quick, our guy Role and uh, Chris Bush, they going hard on you, Rhodesia.
Oh, what they say?
Going hard on you.
About
Chris
I,
Bush
blowing
I
blows,
said,
wasn't even going
blowing
to
blows,
talk about it.
Chris Bush said when
blowing
you were
blows.
talking about CM Punk, he said, I can't accept this opinion about CM Punk from someone who thinks the Young Bucks are entertaining. I think that's a little rough.
Ooh.
Whoa,
Sure
yikes.
did.
That sounds like a
Sure
little
did.
tribalism. Whoa, because we're not talking anything about AEW right now. Yikes.
Well, they just said Bailey's arguably been the MVP in the women's division. And I think absolutely. Once again, when you look at in
Yeah.
totality of what you need to
Mhm.
do, what you should be doing, how you elevate other people around you, make them better, she's been on a hell of a run. And she got rewards tonight. So shout out to Bailey. Um, Nia Jax.
Which I called Bailey was gonna win.
Nia Jax. So let me get on my soapbox real quick, and then Brandon's back. So I'll throw it to him. We were talking about the Rumble, the women's Rumble match.
Mm-hmm.
I told y'all when Nia Jax came back and she started going on that run. Before I said it on the pod, I said they're setting her up for Jade. And then about 3 weeks ago on the podcast, and he just kept trying to say, nope, I don't want that. I don't want that. I came out here, and the people and the listeners of the pod, shout out to y'all. I love y'all. You know I'm not lying. I said this entire Nia Jax run is set up for Jade to come into the ring, do a big power spot, and eliminate her. And I'll be damned if that's not what happened. So, as I tell you guys all the time, if your friends and your family members that watch wrestling aren't checking out the TFW podcast, tell them to get on board. I'm giving you the game. Okay. Yeah, I may be wrong sometimes about who's winning a Royal Rumble match, but hell, they don't even know who's supposed to win it. I think Brock Lesnar was supposed to win it until that stuff came out in the lawsuit. You know what I mean? But other than that, I
Ooh.
got you. I got you. But I thought Nia looked really good. And then this is about making people. It's about moments. Man, give me moments over just 100 fast-paced wrestling moves in a match that I'm not going to remember next week. Because I can remember, I'm going to remember, and they're going to make sure I don't forget it. I'm going to remember the Jade Bianca stare down
Mm-hmm.
when everybody in that stadium stood up and they didn't
Mm-hmm.
touch. Stuff like that is what I'm talking about, right? Like, as much as I appreciate Jay and Jimmy starting it off, because I thought that was an awesome moment. I felt like Jay, with his lay on and being able to hype up the crowd and giving him his full entrance, was like a situation of, hey, man, you killed it this past year. Here you go. Awesome work. But imagine if we could have gotten that spot in the men's rumble where they go face to face and they don't touch. And now you're clamoring for it even more come WrestleMania. And that's why I'm wondering maybe if they don't go that way for Mania now. Maybe it's like a tag match or something, just because some of the luster, I think, came off by them fighting as much. Or as you were saying, Rhodesia, what were you trying to say earlier? Like swallowing each other? What was that?
I said blowing
Oh
each
my
other.
God.
Yeah, I mean,
What's
it's about the
happening?
same.
Said throwing blows at each
Oh, my
other.
Lord.
One important
got it.
word.
It's about the same.
But wait, one person who impressed me, and I don't know why it impressed me. I guess it's from when I remember her in the Indies when she went to NXT. I just never followed her in NXT. But Alba Fire, she belonged as far as wrestling skills in that match today. And
Mhm.
I was really impressed by that. Because again, I didn't follow her in NXT, but I knew her from before. I think with Kylie Ray, I think was her name that she went by before. But she impressed me. Indy did not, but that's a whole nother story. That's a work in progress. Her and Candace, they're the way is a work in progress.
They got to figure her out. Like I
Uh,
like me some Indy, but if I didn't know Indy and I only know her from the thumbs up girl who loses all the matches, I'll be like, why do you keep thumbsing up and you suck?
yeah, yeah.
It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Brandon, thoughts on the women's Rumble match?
I thought it was great. Bailey took an ass whooping throughout that Rumble. She took, it felt like every bump there was to take by everybody. It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, like setting up the feuds. We got a little bit of the Natty and Tegan beef when they kind of went at each other. I love the Jade and Bianca stare down and kind of showing off that flex. The ability for Jade to pick up Naya with fucking ease is nuts. Um, I thought it was great. I thought every woman that was supposed to like really shine, and gave some really cool opportunities too. We mentioned Jordan Grace. I thought she was great. I'm not super familiar with her. I just know of her through social media and Naomi, but she looked like a beast. And for whatever reason, Ivy is fun to me.
Pitbull.
I thought she looked really good out there as well.
Hmm.
Ishan, outside of the three that you named, you said, hey, as long as I got Naomi, and they gave her an hour. They were like, hey, we're gonna bring you back at the Rumble. Oh, that's awesome, and you're gonna go an
She went.
hour. Like that's kind of nuts.
She went.
So you had Naomi, you had Bianca, you had Jade. I think. Oh, you said Jordan Grace. Who
Mhm.
else? Anybody else that kind of surprised you? You didn't think would surprise you?
No, not really. Pretty good. I mean, I overall enjoyed it. Like those moments I mentioned, kind of was like kept a lasting feeling for me throughout the match. And again, I thought it was a big showcase for those women in general. I'm not necessarily sold on Bailey winning, but we'll see where it goes.
I'm sold on it because that gets us to her in
Yeah.
EO probably the only way
Hmm.
we can get there where it's like, okay, this makes perfect sense. What's going to be fun is how does she get to EO? Right? Like right now, Kabuki Warriors are tag champs. You would think she's going to go after Rhea. That's the smart money. Just to
Hmm.
her say, yeah, I'm going to go after Rhea, is damage control, have all the belts. Something's going to have to happen for that not to happen. And I'm intrigued by that.
Hmm.
When does Dakota come back? Because what I thought might have happened would be they had some kind of interaction in a Rumble, which kind of triggered stuff. But I mean, we obviously didn't get that.
Well, she had said months ago her time frame was February. And every time they
Okay.
kind of ask her about it, she says she doesn't have a timetable. Of course she does. She's just
Hmm.
holding it. But they said she's doing good. So like she's back to lifting and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure it's really, 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 really soon. They probably just aren't putting a date publicly on it.
Yeah.
You
So
And I
mentioned
then
how
love
so
that.
hey, you mentioned how does Bailey get to EO? I mean, how does anybody get to anybody as a title contender on any of these shows? I mean, they're on the same brand. I mean, they can easily just make the match. Um, I think that was an easy call. Like I don't know. I feel like this was a missed opportunity to give somebody else some intrigue into a championship match. I feel like they can get to this EO and Bailey match whenever they want to.
but they're
I mean,
still in
they
the
can
same
get
group.
to it. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. The dynamics of their relationship is not played out in a negative way that allows that to just, come next Friday. That's what is happening.
But even
Right.
in that match, right? You look at it's not even subtle shade. It's blatant shade, right? Like Bailey goes to get some high five, and Oscar doesn't even give him the play. Like they've been showing like the tension between these women for like months, and it's going to continue to happen. At some point, it's going to further break down.
Hmm.
And
But
then
if EO's the champ though, where would Bailey? So going on what you're saying, E, because I see it the other way, but I want to entertain this part of the conversation. If we did go that route, why would Bailey even get a chance to go at EO for the title? Just again through storytelling.
Through storytelling, like so you sometimes we overthink wrestling, right? How does any of these people get championship matches? Somebody just makes the match, like right, like Selena Vega got a championship match at her home country, and for what? Was she winning matches like before that? Not really. Like they can just put these people in matches. She can go through a gauntlet or something like that and beat all the rest of the girls. There's a lot of different things that they can do to get her a match. I mean, they don't. I don't want to say it ain't rocket science, but they can
So do
easily
you
put them
not? You
people in
don't
the
think
match.
Bailey should be a champion then?
She can
Because
be a
I think
champion.
Bailey. I think she should win from EO. I think that.
I'm not saying she can't be a champion. I'm just saying that they
Mhm.
could easily got her to EO Sky at Mania, and they could have gave somebody else an opportunity.
In the story, I'm not sure it could be easy. I'm not sure it could be that easy in the story because I am hoping we are going to get on the Raw side Rhea and Becky. That's what I am hoping for. And then I'm guessing Becky's going to have to win the Elimination Chamber or something like that
Mhm.
to get to that point. But I kind of see what he's saying. I just disagree because they're still together right now. So at least this way is going to kind of we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
But what I do want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, number 30 hits.
Oh God.
I'm looking to my left. I'm, I'm looking to my right. I'm looking straight ahead. I don't hear Sasha Banks' name. I don't hear Michael Cole scream to the top of his lungs. It's boss time. I don't hear any of that. And somebody utilized their platform
2 years in a row.
since last December. Not December 2023, December of 2022. And told our great listeners on this podcast, told
Mhm.
myself, told Eshawn, every single time this person's name came up, they were going to be number 30 in the Royal Rumble.
I didn't say what year though. So let's be fair.
Mercedes takes out about 37 new trademarks on December 29th, all with the Monet name, Mercedes Monet. Monet is this. Ain't nothing Sasha Banks, right? This said person still's come on this here platform and said Sasha Banks is still going to be number 30 in the Royal Rumble. Rhodesia, you are
Mhm.
not the only one. I've seen so many people before tonight that said that they don't care what reports come out that says that she is signing to AEW. I won't believe it because Sasha Banks is going to be in the Royal Rumble. I'm going to need you to speak for everybody. Why would you think that? Why would you be so disrespectful on Tony Khan's name when he told you he was locking her down, right?
Okay, you
I
gotta be
just want you
careful
to
on these
explain
words you're
yourself.
using.
Yeah, I want you to
before
explain yourself.
before you go, Rhodesia, full disclosure in the group chat, I was supporting you. I was like, well, maybe she could use the Mercedes name in WWE, and Michael Cole has some clever name for Mercedes, so you ain't
And
by
didn't one
yourself.
of y'all, Delta, didn't one of y'all say, or somebody, I thought I saw somebody say, like, what if she what if she comes out
Money banks.
like CM Punk did at Survivor Series when the logo drops? So she gonna come out on Cody's time?
Oh
It's
yeah,
boss
that was
time.
no. Somebody on the Twitter, me on the
That's
X said
nuts.
that too.
So
I'm so
Rhodesia,
if I'm
explain
speaking for
yourself, please.
everybody. So last year Rumble, so Rumble 23, I really did think she was going to be number 30. I did think so. This year, it was just like my little gimmick, is my little thing, my funny thing. She's gonna come as number 30. I think the year after that, I'm gonna also say she's gonna be the number 30 entrance too as well. So I can't speak for everybody who is like, well, I don't care what she did. If you went through the whole thing of getting trademarks, it means something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we maybe had a conversation about, well, what if she did keep her name within WWE? Well, no, they're not going to do that just because, or allow her to use the Monet. No, there's so much equity in Sasha Banks. They're not going to allow you to use anything other than that. And as far as her going to AEW, she still hasn't debuted yet. So, and until she is somewhere on wrestling on a promotion, I'm going to always say that Sasha Banks is going to be number 30 at the Rumble, flat out.
So you moving on to 2025 already?
I'm moving on already. Well, we gotta wait for Rock and Roman for next year. Where's it gonna be at? Like Minnesota or somewhere? I don't even know where next year's
Yeah,
at.
well, they were talking about 41 being in Minnesota, which I would love to go to US Bank Stadium. People who are football fans have stated like that is one of the best
It's a nice
football
venue. I've heard
stadiums,
that.
yeah, that's out there. So I would love to do that. Would love to go.
But if we do that with Roman, we gonna get Mike like Wizards Michael Jordan coming out of the front office. Not now that he a company man. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I mean,
I thought,
we got a glimpse of Rock, the new Rock, with that last promo they cut. Oh, you're like, okay,
Trash.
this is Grandpa Rock, right? You still cracking them jokes from 25 years ago that ain't funny no more.
that was just because it was gender. Gender ain't got no new material. So
Mhm.
with The Rock, he can just stick to the family dynasty.
You went down the checklist of all the. I used this before and that popped them. I used this one before that popped them.
Right,
I'm
that's
gonna
all
go
he
through
was
the
doing.
whole list of all of them.
Oh, you spoke about Roman. It's funny. Probably the funniest thing about this pay-per-view to me was WWE knew that we knew. Follow me. That they knew
Oh God.
that we knew
Oh shit.
that they knew
Mhm.
that we knew. Follow me now. That they knew
Who's
that
they?
we knew that
Oh,
they
God.
knew that we knew that they knew Roman had no shot of losing this belt on this show. They threw that shit on match number 2. I have never seen that since back in the day when Vince was at his worst and he was putting the World SmackDown Heavyweight Championship match on like second or third on pay-per-views, and it was like Sheamus as champ and people like that. I have not seen that at any time soon. They put Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles in a popcorn slot right after the best Royal Rumble match you have set up for the night.
That's
That was
wild.
nuts to me. And he won.
12:45 and counting.
So there you go. Anything that, and I thought the match was cool, right? Like,
I
but
did.
this was one of those. It was, especially when you saw it was like they're like up next after the women's match. I was like, oh my god. Okay, so there was 0% chance that Roman's going to lose this. What you guys think?
Thank you for not putting it later because then because if I was not the fan that I was like the number one and like the majority of those people that we saw on camera, there was a lot of
A
ones
lot
up,
of
a
ones.
lot
Lot of
of ones. So
ones.
miss me with all that. Y'all hate Roman stuff, okay? But I would have been mad, I think, if I wasn't as much of a fan of Roman I was, if he did come on the third or the main event match. And then we got that same ending where Solo comes in and interferes. I probably would be pissed. So thank you for giving it to me up front. Because now I know.
I don't care about none of that. All I care about is that Roman
I
gonna
don't
keep
give
that
a none
title
of that.
so he can lose it to my man Cody at Mania.
So hey, Ishan, will
We
our
good.
friendship be over if Roman wins against Cody? I mean, that's just a legit question.
Yeah.
No,
Because
Yeah.
my friendship with Tony Khan to be strengthened.
He's gonna come over here the night of night 2 and was like, I don't know what y'all talk about. I was watching Collision, and let me tell you about the opening match
Let me tell you
on
about
Collision.
TNA
Right.
on TNA Plus. I don't know what happened on Raw and SmackDown, but let me tell you. Y'all see New Japan? Oh Lord.
they all went on Sunday, huh? We saw all of it.
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious, man. So yeah, I mean, it was what it was. It was a good match. I'll tell you what, though, Randy Orton is something special. He is there for everything like he's supposed to be. There were a couple spots in that match that just would not, and I mean, all of them are high, professionals, but Orton is just, he's in the right spot all the time. Like he always does exactly what he needs to do when he needs to do it and how he needs to do it. He's incredible. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's back, and I hope that, of course, once we get through Mania, and if he does turn heel and he's Cody's first challenge, we know Cody wouldn't be losing the belt that quick, but that should be fun. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Randy's good, and this is my first glimpse of Randy. I mean, you guys know I've kind of been on a wrestling hiatus until last couple years. Randy's good. I like him. He's really good. And
Yep.
I'll be honest with you guys. I thought the match was really, really good. I thought the finish was underwhelming. I don't know if I could have gotten anything better or more, but I just didn't like the way the match ended.
Well, let's talk about it. What you talking about the finish? Are you talking about the solo piece? You talking about it all? What are you talking about?
The solo piece was fine, but I don't know. Like we got Roman taking everybody's finisher. You got Randy RKO and everybody.
Mhm.
But then out of nowhere, it was super punch, spear, and then it's over. I don't know if it was enough action in the finish for me, but I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting or what more I could have got, but I felt the finish was just underwhelming. But everything leading up to that was pretty good, with the exception of the ending. But I mean, I'm not disappointed or mad, but I don't know. I thought there could have been a bit more, maybe.
So what
Damn,
I say to
damn,
that is,
another Roman underwhelming finish. Damn. Mm,
well, but they're doing. I
I
keep
wouldn't put
saying,
that on Roman.
well,
mm.
I think they're doing it on purpose. The solo interference, the bloodline interference.
Hmm.
Because if there was a match for Roman to look strong in, this was the match. If at any point in this build to Cody Rhodes, because he's not going to be at Elimination Chamber, from what we hear.
Hmm.
If at any point there was a point where we, as the viewing public, is supposed to think that Roman Reigns can beat somebody on their own, this would have been the match to do it.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer, probably or the next big thing in LA Knight, and I beat all of them the same way he did with Edge and Daniel Bryan a couple years ago at Mania, where he stacked both of them up, pinned both of them.
See, yeah, had he stacked them out, I'd have been like, all right, cool. That's exactly what I was probably looking for.
But I think that's not the story they want to tell. I think they want everybody, and I said this months ago, they want everybody who's going to Mania that walks in there is thinking that Cody needs to win because Roman can't do anything on his own. I think that is
Hmm.
literally the story that they're telling. And that may be even the story that goes to the Rock piece. When they finally
Hmm.
get to the Rock and the head of the table, or when they get to Solo, or Solo finally leaves them, and they get to Jimmy, and Jimmy leaves them and goes back with Jay, and they reform their tag team. It is that we've done everything for you. You've done nothing on your own for however long. That
Mm-hmm.
has to be it, because at one point when he sent out a tweet earlier today, and I think it was something to the fact of stacking them up tonight, I was like, man,
Hmm.
if we get dominant Roman, where he somehow goes in here and just blitzes through these guys, okay, I am bought into him and Cody at Mania. And it
Hmm.
could easily just be, I'm locked in now. You're not taking this from me. Let's go. And that wasn't the story they're telling us. Okay, you're about to lose again. Solo came and helped you.
Yeah.
But I did not have a problem with it because it was the second match on the card. If that was the
Fair.
main event, or if that was in the co-main slot, I would be right there with you, Brandon. I'll be like, dude, that was the finish.
I
That
mean,
was
Fair.
it.
I think the placement, it tapered my expectations immediately.
Mm-hmm.
When I was like, "Whoa, is this?
Mm.
Are they giving me a trailer of what's about to happen at the end of the show?" No, up next. All right, got it. You about to fill
Yeah.
18 minutes, and Roman's gonna win.
Yeah. That's fair.
So third match we got was Kevin Owens and Logan Paul. We are big fans on this pod of Logan Paul. He continues to impress. I think
Hmm.
we all knew that he wasn't going to drop that title.
Yeah.
You know, he goes into Mania with that U.S. Championship. But I do want to talk
Hmm.
about that finish. I thought that finish was genius.
Same.
Bravo.
Bravo to the
Bravo.
production
Same.
team. Bravo to whoever came up with it. It was shot perfectly. It was done perfectly. KO loses nothing by
Hmm.
losing by DQ. Logan Paul, I mean, I thought it was just chef's kiss. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
What do you guys think
Logan
about the match?
Logan impresses me, and I keep saying, because every time I see him, I'm impressed. So at a point, I should be like, okay, no, no, this is just my expectation of him. But I am still expecting to be impressed by him every time, and he does. He takes this very, very serious. I'm not a wrestler, so I can't act like I am. But if I were a wrestler, I would think that maybe I would be proud to call him a fellow wrestler, because it seems like he gets in there and
Mm-hmm.
he does things the right way. He doesn't look like unsafe, if that's the right word to use. I mean, KO, we already know what KO is. KO is just what was the joke you said? He's the only person who actually watch wrestling. KO is
That's
just
his
like,
gimmick.
That's,
He's the one that
him.
he's like, I know how this goes. Maybe y'all have
Yeah.
never seen how this works, but this is how this is going to happen. He has that
Mhm.
gimmick.
I absolutely loved the match. I have no complaints. I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. KO's KO. Logan gets another opportunity to kind of showcase his talent, and every moment I've seen him, he's gotten better and better. And, I mean, he was really good when we saw him live at SummerSlam. So I I like him. I think he's a really good, talented dude. Whether he's a dick or not, but he's fun.
I fell asleep on the finish.
There it is, baby.
Where's a round of applause?
There it is, baby.
Yeah.
My guy coming in strong. We appreciate you, though, man. We do. I appreciate you. Wole said that he loved the Logan KO finish. Said he felt like
I
it was
did
old
too.
school. Yep. And then Bush just said he loves E. He said Roman
I
finishes
love you
must
too,
stop
brother.
involving Solo. Yeah, but I think that's the story. Which is
Mhm.
funny too because they haven't really been doing much with Solo. You know, he basically got squashed by Orton 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
I didn't get a chance to see any wrestling this week. We literally got back in town like an hour before SummerSlam. So, but I
see
know
the
he was.
tan.
I know he worked LA Knight on SmackDown. Who did he win? Who won that match?
It was a DQ, if I'm not mistaken. He interrupted. What match did he interrupt? He interrupted LA Knight and Randy, or he was fight. Somebody was fighting before him, and he
Okay.
came and interrupted that fight, and then told whoever he was fighting, "Get your ass out here right now." And then I think that ended in a DQ. I can't remember what happened.
Okay. All right. But he's been kind of just like floating, like he's not really moving, he's
Mhm.
just treading water. And then when he came out and he helped Roman, and then he went through the barricade, I was okay. Maybe
He
this is a
struck
way
out.
of
That mug
setting-
exploded. That mug
he
exploded.
got close to taking Samantha out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you?
Yeah.
you
And we protect her at all costs.
At all
Please.
costs.
Ooh, Lord.
Please.
At all costs.
Ooh,
Please.
Lord.
And I'm gonna go back to it. What are they
Mm.
doing with Ricochet? He was on a really good trajectory back
This time
around
last year.
SummerSlam. No,
Well,
around
no,
SummerSlam.
but remember last year though his showing at the Rumble against Logan.
Mhm.
Remember that whole
Mhm.
double frog splash, whatever you want to call it, body um hit move, and we thought he was about to start skyrocketing after that.
All right.
And then
Well, no. We're not just about to know. See,
if
you
they're watching, they're
tried.
supposed to be watching.
You tried. You tried it.
Jumping crossbody off the top rope. Is that better?
Yes.
I
much
still
better.
like this better. Jeez Louise. This is supposed to be a fun show, not a technical show.
little,
I mean,
little
but
patty cake.
this is an
Little patty
audio.
cake.
This is an audio and video adventure. If you are not watching the video, there is audio to this.
This
You
sounds
can't
like
just say
something
what
too.
you just said. You can't just say what you said and keep it moving.
What it
But
sound
yeah,
like,
no-
really? Is
Oh yeah, you know what it sound like. See, this is when I get excited. See this now. This is the point of the show that he tries to shut us down. Now we're not. Now
About
now we
time.
get
It is
to
about
it.
time though. We're
Yeah.
about what,
I
55
just,
minutes.
I just want you to know, I'm advocating for it. So,
See,
Let's go.
Oh,
Boards up.
you know, I'm with it.
how
I'm
is
with
it?
Let's go.
but yeah, they're wasting Ricochet.
Big time.
He didn't have any standout moments in the Rumble at all. And I also thought it was funny that Kofi didn't either. Kofi was up like
yeah.
2 years in a row, and they was like, "All right, Kofi, like you know what?
Your
We're gonna
gimmick's
give your
over.
spot to Kyrie
Simple
Sane.
elimination, buddy.
Yeah,
Simple
we're gonna give your spot to
elimination.
Kyrie Sane. You are just gonna get thrown over the top. Don't worry about doing nothing special. Don't worry, you'll be in another 2 more Rumbles, so you can take Kane's record for the most Rumbles. But those days are done, buddy. You are now the veteran that hey, you're just in there to get a good feel good pop, throw a couple punches, try to go for your finish, and you're thrown over the top. I hate to see it. But Kyrie's, at first I thought maybe she wasn't supposed to be eliminated, and she didn't stick it. But then Asuka got eliminated right after.
Yeah.
It's okay, but that was fantastic. That was incredible.
Yeah.
Shout out to whoever thought about that. So
And whoever's sewing that damn ponytail into Bianca's head,
Man, hello.
because that thing should have came out
Yep.
the
I
way
think
they
she
was
does it.
saving that elimination.
I think she does it.
That's insane.
She's a beast
Mhm.
then. Because when she was pulling it, I was like, yo. I
That shit coming out.
Right there.
Hey, but Matt, though, when Ricochet came out, I'm like, I wonder who else was supposed to be in this position besides him because he did not belong
I said in
at
the
that
thread,
spot
one of these things is not like the other
for real.
Oh,
Like,
that's
he
what
because
you
he
kept
did
meant by
not
like,
that.
fit.
That's what
Well,
you meant
okay.
by that.
So then, so was Brock supposed to be in that spot and not his entry? Because I think, like I already said, where I thought that was Braun's spot probably, but maybe
hmm
that was Brock was supposed to be in there with those heavy hitters
Yeah,
had to be because
because
Ricochet did
it
not
just
look like he belonged in that spot.
and he
I
didn't.
bet. I bet Brock wish he was able to get in that because he probably getting all kind of crap at home.
Oh, see, you know what? See, you know what, man? Like that's why you got to be careful who you ask on the show. Let's go look at the chat. The chat says, Wole said that Ricochet needs to go to AEW. He would kill it. Just give me him and Osprey every month. I'm happy.
Yeah,
Um, whatever. We'll see. Right. So that was basically the Rumble in a nutshell. Overall, thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm giving it a thumbs up still. I
Sure.
thought that
thumbs
highly
up for
of the
sure.
women's match. I was entertained throughout. I did think that the finish of the title match and the men's match was underwhelming, but not enough to where I'm like, oh man, that was a waste of my time, or damn, they mailed it in. I don't think it was anything like that. I just think that the men's Rumble match was not. I would love to know who the producers were because it'd be hard for me to believe it was the same producers for the women that was for the men's. But that match was all about, to E's point, legit. That match was about Cody, getting him to point at
Yeah,
the sign, getting him to point at Roman. So no matter what happened in that prior hour, and you gave us a really nice 6-7 minutes of him and Punk 1-on-1. But at the end of the day, what people are be talking about what from this Rumble outside of the surprises and the returns, it is that Cody's one step closer to finishing the story. So at that point, it's mission accomplished, job well done. So early, way too early.
hmm
WrestleMania top 3-4 matches. What do you want to see? Who cares if you get it or not? But we know we got Roman and Cody, so we'll just put that as one of our 2, 3 or 4. What else do you guys want to see at Mania? Just off of where we are right now.
Roman Rock.
I just said we're getting Roman Cody.
Well, you said give me 4, so I'm filling up my 4 spaces. Roman Rock.
That's
Nothing
it.
else?
Well, because
Oh,
I don't know what the state of Seth right now. Is he going to really be able to give it his all come 9 weeks from now? I don't know, 70 plus days from now. Because I would want Punk and go at each
so there
other
you go.
because I
Okay,
think
so you
3.
got your top. You got to say you got your
Three.
3, and then what's your
Yep.
4th?
Give me Bailey and Neo.
Okay,
Mm.
what y'all got?
So Cody, Roman, I guess Punk and Seth, but I was kind of intrigued at Gunther and Seth after that kind of stare down on Monday night.
Okay,
Um, Jade and Nia, I guess. A football match. I don't know if you can get to. Well, maybe you can get Jade and Bianca. Okay, if
yeah, I think that's
if
too soon. Because that would be what I would say, but I think that's too soon.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I would like to see Jade somewhere on that card though. But you know, I don't know.
Give her
We'll see.
Natty.
There we go.
Natty put her through a great match.
Yeah.
Just joking. I don't want to see her and Natty. But yeah, who could Jade realistically work that it would be a great match?
She looked more fluid in her movements during that Rumble match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She looked good. She was happy to be there. You couldn't get that smile off her face. I'm like,
Oh,
Jade, stop
yo.
smiling. Stop smiling, Jade. You're supposed to be selling right now. Don't smile.
So-
I know you're happy to be in there with Naomi. Jade, stop smiling. I know you have to be in there with Bianca. Jade, stop smiling. So, but I'm happy for her. Good for her.
Matt didn't hear, but little Matthew said after she super kicked somebody, she being Jade. He's like, I've seen enough. She's already better. Don't do that. I was like, don't do that, Matthew.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Stop.
I said
I
the
see
same
you something.
thing.
It was there. That super kick was all there. It was boom.
It was.
Hey, I know we on a different mode right now, though. But let's go ahead and say it though. When Mercedes looks at that women's roster, she got Jay, she got Naomi, she got her girl Bailey, she got Damage Control, Rhea,
Becky, Charlotte. when
like
she comes
right.
back.
She got all,
Yep.
and she got her
Mhm.
Want no
friends there.
parts
She
of that.
going to AEW for what? A cash grab. It's a cash
Don't do that.
grab.
I just broke down the women's division a couple weeks ago and how they
cash
have a
grab.
much more, or not a much better, much improved women's division
Yeah.
right now.
It,
in
it, was-
AEW.
it was horseshit then too when you broke it down.
But it wasn't.
It
But
is.
you have to watch. Like you can't just say it and then like
See,
just come out here
that's
and,
that's
and
your
just give
Cam-
us two
that's-
sentences.
That's your
of
canned
like,
response.
oh, it was good.
I
No,
watch
are you-
enough to know
oh,
that
hey,
it's
you-
garbage. Because I want you to know that it's garbage.
my
'cause
can
they
my
give
can
you-
responses.
They yes.
we can
because they give
record you, sir, and play the same. Oh, it was good. It was fine for every question, and then it would be like, oh, E is on this game tonight because he is killing it. I don't have canned responses.
Okay,
but-
so yeah, they give you 2 matches a show, and you think
One.
that she's gonna show
One.
out. Oh, it's so even worse. No, they give you 2 sometimes. They give you like a segment before that too. Like no, like it's not good. In comparisons, no.
Well, I
not
do,
good.
but I think that well, we know she's about the money, but they're going to have to make that division her division. They're going to have to create that
I was just
division
gonna say,
around
she's
her.
gonna she becomes the top woman when she
Yes.
gets there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has to.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you can't. I mean, the word that they were saying before was she was looking for, what I say, 3 million. I think it was a year.
Something like a year.
So ain't nobody probably close to that in AEW women's roster. So that's already now your division. So now we got to cultivate it. But I do think, all joking aside, I think there is an easy 7 to 8 women that you can build that division around, and now that division becomes one of your strengths. They got some talent. It just-
why do
it
you think
just-
they could do that in 2024 if they haven't did it in the past 5 years they've been in existence?
You didn't see what Tony Khan posted on Twitter?
what
I
Tony
see
said?
all the bullshit. They
Oh
post.
yeah, you saw Tony.
Legacy.
Tony said 2024 is like 2021 AEW.
Let's
Oh.
go.
Let's go.
And,
TK.
and,
Who got
and then,
that?
and then somebody
TK?
say, "Oh, he's admitting that the past 2 years have been garbage."
No, well, I think he was trying to say in terms of like the signings. So like
Hmm.
you'll have Okada, you'll have Mercedes. Who's the other one? I
Ospreay,
think there's one
Ospreay.
more, right? Oh, well, we
Ospreay.
already knew about
You know
Ospreay. I thought it was
Ospreay,
one
mhm.
more. Oh, that's pretty cool. Triple H had his press conference while we're doing our pod. He said that he has not read the Vince McMahon lawsuit from this week. Got it. Got it. All right. What else y'all want
You
to
know,
talk about before
I only one that have it.
before we get out of here? Well, I guess maybe he's like, I was there. I don't have to read it.
Okay. I'm
Me and
about to
Steph talked
go.
about it at dinner.
I'm about to
already.
go. I'm about
Okay.
to go. It's a penalty box for me.
Well, like he said, E is Eric Bischoff of the show when he's talking about AEW. Absolutely he is. Hey, Nash, ain't it?
That's funny.
That is hilarious. That's a shoot. Oh, I know what. Real quick before we get out of here, before we move on, because I want to Brandon to give us his top 20 superstar list of all time because he has it.
Ooh.
Anything else off the Rumble you guys want to hit, or any? Granted, we'll be back on Wednesday, but any aftermath or immediate thoughts or anything like that before we kind of wrap that?
Again, I'll give it a thumbs up. Fun Rumble. As they are supposed to be.
It's a good Rumble. No major complaints. A lot of fun. As a re-engaged wrestling fan, it did enough for me. So
Cody, Jay, let's go.
All AEW too. I did think that though when they shot the wide and hey, Kevin Dunn, you did some great stuff at one point, but WWE's is on their game when it comes to production, down to the C4 countdown, and when the number 4
that's
hit,
dope.
man, it
That's
was
pretty dope.
I love the shots of the wrestlers coming in. They're doing that much more frequently. They said they're going to be doing more like sports field type presentation. But when they had that wide shot, when it was just CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. And I remember
Mhm.
looking and I said, if this was a year and a half ago, what could I have possibly thought happened? And my first thing was AEW somehow went out of business.
I'd have said Vince died or was no longer around.
Yeah, but Cody and Punk a year and a half ago was under AEW contract. So you lose both of them, and then Punk is back too. Yeah, I thought like, damn, AEW went out of business, and they were like, all right, well, come on back home.
Hey Matt, you mentioned WWE's production. You think they have production meetings before the shows?
I think they do, man.
Hmm.
I think they have a lot of them.
A few of them, I think.
I think they have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Did you see it was like I don't know if you guys watched the kickoff show, but they were kind of showing the behind the scenes of people like walking out to the arena or the stadium, and they were showing a shot of, was it Drew? It was somebody. I forgot. It was just it was Orton. It was Randy. It was Orton. And they flashed Roxanne Perez's
I saw that.
Titantron. And I was like,
Yeah.
damn, spoiler.
Yeah.
But it was cool because I think even at one point, one of the announcers said like, yeah, this was during the production. What do they call it? Rehearsal. Some type of rehearsal. They said. I was like, wow, that's
That they said that on air. Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yes, sir. If you guys don't know, that is E once again taking another dig at AEW because there was a rumor about a month ago that they don't have production meetings before their shows. But I think they do now. But I don't think they did.
It's just my final thing. I know you already asked, but Nia Jax was looking fine when she was coming
did
into
look
the
good.
stadium. I'm like, who is this? Thicker than a snicker chick coming through here.
Sure
She
did.
looked gorgeous.
She sure did.
And she's kind of slimming down too.
Mhm.
Like since she's been back. Y'all know what I think about her. So
What'd you think about her? Remember returning the show X-rated?
I mean, Brandon may need to mute up too. Brandon may have gotten us canceled.
always.
He may have gotten us
Always.
canceled from.
Man, this ain't TFW After Dark now, goddamn it. This has some standards in this
Well,
shit, man.
So you saw what I said in the text about Naomi. I like that kind of play. That was fun.
But your ass, look, you try to edit it, but I saw it already. I saw what you first said.
No, it was meant to stay there. It was by mistake. It was by mistake, but I like it. I know why Jimmy married her. I can tell you that.
Yeet, no yeet. So Brandon, your top 20 list, you got it in front of you?
I got it. Let's go.
All right. So just give us your rundown from 20 to number 1. Now, just give the listeners just a little bit quick rundown on, because you said you were kind of a lapsed fan. So like, when did you watch?
Yes.
And then when did you come back?
So I was a big fan growing up, probably about 4 or 5. And I want to say it was like right at the end of Attitude Era or right when John Cena came. It faded away. So I might have been freshman in college or becoming a freshman in college. 2002-ish is when I kind of backed off like for good. Like I was sporadic throughout high school. And then when I kind of got out of high school, it was kind of over. But I missed all of Cena's run. I missed all of Orton's run. And then I got reconnected. Was it about a year and a half ago, 2 years now?
Close
went
to
to
it,
my
yeah.
first I went to my first house show with Eshawn and his family. That was December 22?
7th, wasn't it, or something like that? Yeah, it was
December
22.
22?
December 2022. Yeah.
And my son, he's 6. He started taking a liking to wrestling leading up to that, and he's become a big fan. So I've been reconnected kind of ever since with them. And then the root of my fandom now has been you guys' pod and making sure I can be connected to what you guys are talking about. So here I am.
My man, appreciate you for that. Okay, so then you were Attitude Era. We know that for sure.
For sure, big Attitude Era guy.
And kind of before that, and then now over the last year and a half or so. All right, so go ahead, tell us 20 to number 1. Who you got?
All right. So a little backstory. So I think when this first came up, you guys talked about superstars. So when I made up my list, I was like, these are superstars, and I was thinking of wrestlers who actually transcend wrestling, like they're actual superstars. But they've done movies and all that good stuff too, or just the common person know who they are.
Okay.
But the bulk of these guys are some of my favorites. So number 20, Cody. 19, Jake the Snake. 18, Trish Stratus. 17, Mick Foley.
Stop right there. Nobody else had
Yes.
Trish on their top 20.
I know I didn't.
I
have
remember
Trish on
that. Yeah.
And she would, oh man. Wow. I that may have been a miss for me,
Yeah.
for Trish. That may have been
I
a miss. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I noticed. No, you're good.
Yeah.
17, Mick Foley. 16, Kurt Angle. 15, Triple H. 14, Rey Mysterio. 13, Hulk Hogan. 12, Batista.
Hey, Jose.
Ele-
Hey, okay, stop. So can we please talk about why did they think like today was a good day just to bring him back? Like everything was forgiven and or forgotten. He was
I told
plastered-
you.
He was plastered all over those Florida.
Yeah.
Promos.
What did Brandon say? What Brandon say in that text thread?
Yeah, like he done sold his soul. Like they done sold their soul. Like to have him, and they was like, "Look, you gonna get saved so we can put you on TV," and everybody need to know. Because otherwise, I would have known Hulk Hogan got saved in the church. It was video all over the place.
He got saved and he saved somebody from a burning car.
Staged.
That sounds
guys-
scripted, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm
You guys
not
hear
gonna
about
do
that?
that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Staged.
Yeah.
No, I heard
Yeah,
about it.
Yeah.
And they did it on the set where they shoot NXT too, I'm sure.
Hey, look. and look, and they had a shot of him. He had an NWO shirt on.
No
Hilarious.
way. No way. That's not real. No,
Pull it
this
up.
is not real. This is not
Pull it
real.
up.
That's no. Okay. This is not real.
Okay, so all right, so you got Hogan at 13.
Batista missed his run too, but I mean, he was big. Ultimate Warrior, 11. Ric Flair, 10. Bret Hart at 9. 8, Shawn Michaels.
Oh, you got him back to back.
7, Roddy Piper. 6, Roman. 5, Undertaker. 4, Macho Man. 3, Cena. 2, Stone Cold. And my guy finishes out my top 20, The Rock.
So all of us either had The Rock at second or number
Or first.
1,
Mhm.
which is
Yep.
awesome. That's a strong list. That's a strong list. If I just because like if I wanted to nitpick your list, if I had to pull somebody off your list, I would tell you to get Cody out of here.
I'm fine with that. But
Until
but
you
I got
finish
him.
the story.
I
He
agree.
can't be on your list.
I agree. And
And
I got
they're
him
right
at
here.
20 because
He's like, oh
he's
god.
he's hot as hell. And,
No, he
and
is.
people love him. I mean, he was on Fallon kicking it last night. So yeah,
He's
that's
going
my
to be
list.
the new face, man. As soon as they put that belt on him, if we thought like he was the face already, he's going to be the face for sure. Then that's a good list. If you guys have not sent us your list yet, please do so. We're gonna any of them that I can get that I can make sure that we find, and we'll at least talk about a few of your entries on your list. We'll do that on Wednesday's show. So if you sent them, I have not looked at them. I want to do it like live on air and just to see what you guys have, but that should be fun. It's a good list.
Great list. Yep, I'm looking back at
Appreciate
it.
it. Thank you.
So who do you think had the best list out of the three of us?
Rhodesia.
Ooh, Rhodesia's was really good, actually.
You
I'm
say
trying to play
actually
it
like
back in
that was
my
a
head.
I got chump change over here.
Come on now.
That's the,
No,
Come on now.
like
Hey, no, do you
Such
not
a bad rep over
remember? Do you not
There's
remember
a couple
that?
bookings.
Do
you
you,
talking about
yeah,
number
there you go.
my number 21.
That one show where we had to book our own dream car. Rhodesia, that
First
wasn't
off,
it. Sweetheart,
we
that
done did
wasn't it.
100 plus of these modes, and y'all gonna try to pull back one.
It was that
Okay.
bad.
Point is,
And you thought you
No,
the
listen.
crazy part, you thought you was killing it too. You was
Oh,
like,
well, oh,
okay,
man,
now
I
match
was-
number 3. we
dude,
got
for
Logan's
real.
like, no,
For
Rhodesia, this
real,
ain't
for
it.
real. And it
This
came
ain't
all
it.
from my heart and soul too. Like I put so much thought and energy into that booking.
You
that
had
card.
one vote on Twitter, and that was you. That's the worst. That's the worst survey I've ever seen in my life. And you get mad at everybody else for not voting.
because I'm a genius.
No,
I'm
they
just not
voted.
on my level.
They just
That's
voted for
what
me.
it is.
They just
Just
voted for me
on the
and
mental
Eve's
level
list.
of being able to understand it.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. What y'all talking about?
I forgot.
I liked everybody's list. I love the fact that E pick dudes that he really, really loves. Like that Bryan Adams pick was pretty dope.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was a fan of all three. I was a
Awesome.
fan of all three, but I thought Rhodesia's was really, really good.
There you go. See, you got
Thank
some.
you, sir.
You got some baby cakes. All right, so let me make sure there was nothing else that I wanted to talk about with you guys. We talked about Brian. We talked about Pat McAfee. Oh, our truth. We already talked about protecting him at all costs. It's funny
I love
because
R-Truth.
you look at our truth, right? And he's always been funny, but his this is the type of entertainment that we wanted from WWE when WWE was horrible, right? When we were
Mhm.
getting campy, I can't believe y'all are making me watch this kind of
Installing
jokes.
our intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah, to this where it's like it makes sense, but it still is hilarious. Him thinking he was in the women's tournament, I mean the Rumble match, and then still coming out for the men's at this. I just thought it
That
was
dude.
great.
And not
Great,
only coming
man.
out for the men's, but thinking it was a
The
tag,
tag
match.
We've never seen a hot tag in the Royal Rumble before. Before
first
today,
off,
We had
first
the hot
off, that's
tag.
the
first hot tag in
time-
history of the Rumble.
That's the
I
first
love
time
that dude.
Yeah.
Tom and Nick has got cheered in the
Tom and
last
Nick
2
is the
years.
best shit in the world.
Like,
I love Tom and Nick.
He got a huge pop when he tagged in our truth. He's not gonna get those pops again. That was the first time I ever heard anybody applaud Dominic in 2 years.
Truth is great. I saw a video recently. I don't know when it was, but it was a Rumble where he thought it was Money in the Bank, and he like opened up a ladder.
Yes,
That
yes, man.
so good.
And,
So good.
and they keep doing it. So I don't know
Yeah.
if they got writers with them or he's coming up with the majority of stuff on his own, but keep doing it.
I would love to think it's him because he is fucking hilarious.
Hilarious,
But
man.
I wanted to shoot freaking but Damian Priest. Why he do that to our truth though? I
You don't
got
like
offended
R-Truth?
by that. Yeah, he
I know
clearly-
he been
clearly
and
he
he been
didn't.
cutting them in on
Yeah,
the on the merch money.
And I was not a fan of that either. Damian Priest being in the Rumble. It's like if you're not smart enough
Talk
to
about
cash
it.
in
Talk about
your
it.
briefcase, why are you taking a spot from somebody else? We didn't have Chad Gable in that Rumble. We didn't
I
have
didn't think
anybody
about
from the
that.
Street Profits in that Rumble. There
Yeah,
was a few
right.
people that they
Yeah.
weren't going to win it, but you could have highlighted them. I don't
Yep.
need we don't know, man. Like, and maybe he
So
was
this-
only in there to throw truth out, but I just felt like if he cannot figure out a way to cash in his guaranteed contract, why is he going to get in the Rumble match? I was like, okay.
Yeah. I felt the same thing about a wasted spot for Pat McAfee. Although I thought it was funny, I definitely think somebody else
Mhm.
could have took that spot.
Mhm. I wonder if that was maybe something fell through, or if that was also like, hey, if you can make a trip,
Mhm.
you'll,
I'm gonna let you be
we'll,
in the
we'll, we'll
Rumble,
put
yeah.
you in the Rumbles just so you're in the history books, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. It was like, to your point, yeah, it was funny, but
Yeah.
I was already, because I think he came in with like number 23 or somewhere like that. Somewhere
Something like that. Yeah.
I was already getting to the point in the men's Rumble match where I'm like, this is not as good as I thought it was going to be, and it is definitely not as good as the women's Rumble. So
I had
that
him at 22.
okay, so then yeah, I was at that point I was already a little bit like, okay, kind of interesting, but such is life. Everything can't be perfect, right? Everything can't be perfect. All right, E, you got anything else, my good man? Do you want to share? Do you want to share why you were so sleepy today? Because you know Eric's gonna be on your head after he hears this.
Oh no. You know, hey, Mr. No Days Off over here, man. I show up and I show out. Any and
All right.
everywhere I go. No problem. But hey, good night for Cody fans everywhere. We did it.
Great night for Cody fans.
We finishing this story. Roman, we coming for your ass. At Mania 40. Hey,
Last
look.
thing.
Hey, look,
Yeah, go ahead.
real quick. I'm
Mhm.
ordering me some Cody gear and some Lions gear this weekend, and I'm back to back in it. I'm
Come on,
gonna
baby.
have
hey,
one
hey,
one
say
side
it.
of my ass with the
Say
Lions
it.
gear, other side with the Cody gear on.
say it,
We going back to back
Say
with
it.
it.
say it,
From your lips to God's ears, baby.
man. 60 minutes to get to the Super Bowl is all we got tomorrow.
Let's go.
I am ecstatic. I'm ecstatic to get
Okay.
here. I was already at a point where I've been saying we're going to be in the NFC Championship game. I never said we're going to be in the Super Bowl. I feel like
Don't
we
say
can
it
get
out
there.
loud.
I know.
Don't say it
I
out
feel like
loud.
we can get there, but I've been begging the drum for like a couple weeks that hey, we're going to the NFC Championship game, and now we're here. So you got 60 minutes, Lions. Let's get to it. There is no better Cinderella story than if we were to make the Super Bowl this year and go against whoever. I don't even care who.
No
We
matter.
get into the dance, all bets are off.
Let's go.
My boss knows I'm showing up to work Monday hungover from either being really happy or really sad.
Really sad. One of the two.
One of the two.
That headache ain't gonna tell a difference. Last thing, Roman Cody. Give me your percent that you think Cody's finished the story at WrestleMania 40.
I'm gonna say
10%.
0%.
Oh my God, you guys are ridiculous. See, y'all some hate.
You
See,
saw-
now that's haterism right there at its finest. A 0%.
You saw the video.
I'll admit
I
that.
sent you the video. Not till WrestleMania 75. That video is great.
The Joe Biden.
I love that
That's
video.
Cody.
Yes.
And the pyro hits.
Yes.
So we got a 0%. We got a 10%. All right, E, are you going 100%?
2,000%.
Okay, so now we okay. Now the numbers are probably closer to what it really is. I'm gonna go.
He gonna get.
I'm gonna go like. Right now, I'm going 90%. Because I realistically don't know how you don't do it. Now seeing how the Rumble played out, I don't know how you don't give him.
Yeah, it's got to happen.
Yeah,
You can't go. Yeah, you can't win this year and then get screwed over and expect him to stick around.
They're gonna kill that man. Like Cody is a moneymaker for that company. If he loses again, he's gonna lose a lot of goodwill.
barring injury, he pulls it off.
Yeah, he's lose a lot of goodwill with fans if they don't pull the trigger on him.
and I don't think he would. The WWE would.
Both.
Yeah.
Yep, WWE would for sure. All right, y'all. Well, Brandon, thank you, sir, for getting on.
Thank you.
We will have you on again
Thank
soon.
you for having me.
Absolutely.
I'd love to.
Absolutely. Ishan, thank you, sir, for figuring it out. A little peek behind the curtain. Every single time we do a live, we haven't done a live since All In this year. And before that, it was the Rumble. But every single time we do a live, I'm stumbling, fumbling, trying to figure out how to get that create broadcast button to work on Twitter. And we like 5 minutes late. So the first 5 minutes of the pod is just us lollygagging so we can figure it out. We didn't have to do that. He figured it out. Thank you, sir, for that. Rhodesia, thank you for showing up and just doing what you do, you know? And that's it. We out of here. We'll be back on Wednesday. We got a lot to talk about. Like I said, I've been gone all week. So we will touch on the Vince stuff.
I didn't read the paperwork either.
Yeah.
Triple H. I didn't read it.
We will touch on that.
I read it.
Because I got some thoughts. I got some real thoughts. So we'll touch on that. We'll talk about, of course, whatever we get on Raw, which should be pretty good. There's some stuff in AEW too. Well, I'm sure by the time our Wednesday show happens, I got a feeling that there'll be something that Tony Khan's going to say or do that's going to get us to the Mercedes to AEW pretty quick. She may not be on the show this week, but there's going to be something that happens that now that the Rumbles are over, that, hey, come watch us. We got your girl. So I think we'll have some of that. And then, of course, some fallout from the Rumble. I'm sure there's a lot of stories that's going to be hitting over the next 24 or 48 hours. So we'll break all that down and then whatever else comes out and your guys' top 20 list. So send them in if you have not, your top 20 superstar list of all time. We will go over that. And that is it, guys. So thank you for listening. As always, thank you for watching. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a family member. That's FNW on X/Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. That's Freakin Wrestling. We'll be back on Wednesday. Peace.
Peace.